Peace by Choice. Part 3. Selected readings from the booklet titled Peace by Choice, put together by Linda Gerber Quest. Peacekeeping. Cayce-based peace plan. Counteracting ignorance by setting an example. Giving careful, loving attention to the least and to the details of daily living. Giving our best and doing our utmost, which is how we express love. Do not demand of others that ye are not willing to give thyself, and demand only of others that ye are willing to concede and live to in thine own experience. And this attitude and this lived will make for much of peace and harmony throughout the experience. As ye would that others should do to you, do ye even so to them is not merely an axiom, not merely a saying that is found ready utterance on the tongues of those who would have their way here or there. They are principles, spoken and manifested by life made manifest in a material body, in such measures, in such a manner as to be creative in itself. Do not belittle, do not hate. For hate creates, as does love. And brings turmoils and strifes. For, as has been oft given, there has been a standard, a measuring stick whereunto any soul may measure itself as he has given. As oft as ye do it unto the least of these, my brethren, ye do it unto me. And, many shall come in that day saying, in thy name we cast out demons, healed the sick, and yet I will say I never knew you. For those that have applied even those in the light of self's own interest have their reward already. They that have ministered that the God force, the soul that is the image of the Maker might be glorified have done so unto the Lord. In this manner may there be the practical application of those things given, that the soul, the heart, the mind, may grow in grace, in knowledge, in understanding, and thus create for self and the associations and the surroundings that first of contentment, then peace and harmony that will make for the more and more awareness of His presence abiding with thee. Is it ever the better manner to seek vengeance? What is the law respecting same? Be rather in peace with self, and God will require life for life, purpose for purpose, in thy relationship of mind and body to thy fellow man. God be the avenger, then, rather than the individual, and you will find a different peace within self, and not the turmoils of anxiety or worry. Be rather done by all, than ever taking advantage of any individual. For he that overcometh shall wear the crown, and not he that climbeth up some other way. For he becomes the thief, the robber to self of those glories, the knowledge, the peace that comes from making thy will one with creative forces. Which is love. No longer does the higher forces or God call for sacrifice, rather that ye love one another, even with that love as was shown in the gift of the Holy One, that we through him might have access to the Father, to the throne of mercy and of grace. Patience, love, kindness, gentleness, long-suffering brotherly love. There is no law against any of these. For they are the law of consistency in the search for peace. For they of themselves bring peace, and they are what he gave into the world with the offering of himself to be the mediator between man and God. Challenges and cautions. Be not discouraged because the way seems hard at times. Know that he heareth thee. For as he hath given, if ye will keep my law. And what is his law? It is to love the Lord, to eschew evil, which is the whole duty of man, love thy neighbor as thyself. This brings into the consciousness that peace which each soul seeks and brings with same healing, not only of body but of mind, and keeps the attunement with the spirit of truth. How can I overcome the feeling of frustration? Know in what you have believed and who is the author. Then live by it and live with it and you will find peace. For, the promise is, as from him, it must indeed be that offenses come, but woe unto him by whom they come. Be not disturbed, as he gives, because of frustrations. No, I have overcome the world, and if you abide in me, I bring peace. And peace is far from frustration. Thus there may be, as it were, an ensample for those who take thought for the dedicating of their lives, and their abilities for the preservation of the thought of truth and beauty and song, of wit, of humor, of those things that bring into the experience of individual souls through this material sojourn more of the joy and the beauty of an experience. These done, these accomplished, much harmony, much peace may come to the experience of the entity in this material sojourn. The teacher that proclaimed, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall inherit the earth." Practice this again in thy experience, not as one that is a pacifist for the secular forces or reasons, but that there may be an opening into the mind and heart between the spiritual and mental forces of each soul, to know that peace which passeth all understanding, and that giveth a surety in the minds and hearts of those who know the consciousness of his abiding peace within. Set thine ideals where ye will or may, ye may attain them. For as has been indicated, ye have earned. For ye have practiced peace first within self, and the ability to make peace with others. Unless you talk too much. And these will ever stand the entity in good stead, to attain, to gain whatever may be the desire or the purpose. So long as they are kept in that way of live and let live, and of helping the other fellow, ye will keep those experiences inviolate, and there will be harmony in this experience, unless you talk too much. Will the attacks come to naught that have been made on me by the American Medical Association? Depends upon the antagonistic attitude that the body assumes, or as to what the determinations are in the self. If ye would be antagonized, then be antagonistic. If ye would have peace, be peaceful. If ye would have friends, show yourself friendly. If ye would be wise, be patient and humble. And don't talk too much. Talk in the proper place, saying the proper things, not that to satisfy, but that being sought by all. The longing to know of the peace that may be had by the soul of man, that under any other name becomes the one great thing in the experience of every living soul, to find harmony and peace, and to be assured by those that experience the continuity of existence. Not as a meddler. Never. Rather as that they each have their ideals, living in those respects in which no questions may ever be within the minds of those who see or observe their activities. And most of all no question marks in their own consciousness. Thus may the entity come to the greater peace. The fewer definitions there be of that to which an individual is to subscribe, the greater may be the peace and the harmony in the experience of every soul. As for the individuals here, peace must begin within self before there may be the activity or the application of self in such a manner as to bring peace in thine own household, in thine own heart, in thine own vicinity, in thine own state or nation. And only one agreement: worship God in a manner that is in keeping with the dictates of thy conscience. Each individual, then, may act, may live, may pray in his or her own little sphere of activity, in such a manner as to bring peace and harmony, even among those who appear to be at variance to the cause of the Christ in the material world.